this is Everyday Expertise, and I'm Angela, and I'm here with Lanisa Dawn. She is an actress who's worked internationally in theater and film. She's also a singer-songwriter. Her debut single, Witness, came out in November of 2018. Welcome.
Thanks.
So how did you get started with acting?
So with acting, I started as a kid. I, not professionally or anything, but I was always in all the school plays from the time I was in elementary school all the way into high school. And yeah, I always loved it. I was doing a lot of musicals in high school as well at that point. And I just decided to continue it in it afterwards. So I went to Dawson and studied professional theater. And then I did a program in New York as well. But yeah, that was my start in acting. It was really like, as a kid, I really got involved in it.
And then, so how did you start with the singing?
The singing, so that came from my mom, I would say, because my mother is a singer, and we had a piano at home, and she was always playing piano and singing. And then I kind of like picked it up with her. I would like sing with her, and she was my first teacher. And there's a funny story. I was in Club Med. We were on a family trip, and my mom was, you know, like those shows that they have at Club Meds where the guests can join in. Exactly. They can do they had one night where like the guests, if they have any talents, they can perform type of thing for everybody at the resort. So my mom joined the show, and she was singing The Wing Beneath My Wings by Bette Midler. And I had heard her sing it so many times before. I was only like 3 or 4 years old, and I was sitting on my grandmother's lap in the audience, and I saw my mom singing on the stage. So I just broke free from her arms. I ran up on the stage. I started I opened my mouth and sang with her. And the whole audience at the end, like, this is what my mom tells me, because I was only 3 or 4 years old. I don't even really remember it. But, like, everybody stood up and was like, oh, that's so cute. And everybody thought it was, like, a planned act. But it was just spontaneous, you know? We have pictures of it and everything. So that was my first moment on a stage, I guess you could say. And then it just continued after that. It always came naturally to me for singing. Like, acting was a little more, I mean, obviously you need training as a singer as well, but I feel like acting wasn't as natural for me. Singing was always like very natural. Even as a kid, I had a really good ear for music.
Oh yeah. Have you been doing both sort of concurrently, or did you decide to start writing your own songs and performing later, or what?
Yeah, the music, well, actually both music and acting have come more professionally in only the last few years. After Dawson, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, so I went a different route. And then I didn't perform for many years. Like, I was kind of just, I don't want to give away my age. But yeah, I didn't perform for many years, and I was kind of like trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life. And then I slowly got back into it by doing community theater. I did a lot of musical theater in the community. So it was like that mix of acting and singing, right? And then slowly but surely, I got a contract in Hong Kong to do a professional theater tour, which is why I was overseas. And then when I got back, that's when I was like, oh, you know what, I'll take this more professionally, and got an agent here in Montreal for acting. And then I was like, you know what, I should do the music thing too, because I had all these lyrics written out that I had never done anything with. So I just decided finally, you know what, I'll like really start going full force in this and putting things out, you know, creating.
Yeah. That makes sense. So this is very much a show about process. So what was the song recording process and the making of the music video for Witness like? Can you walk us through the sort of the process, your process of creating a song and getting it out in the world?
Yeah, so for Witness, I had already had the lyrics written out. And it's kind of the creative process for me. I don't really tell myself like, oh, I'm going to sit down and write a song. It sort of just comes to me spontaneously, whatever I'm feeling in the moment. Or like if, I'll get these jolts of inspiration and then write things down. I have like a little music notepad where I just like write down lyrics that I feel or that come to me. And then I usually always write along with a melody that I come up with in my head because it helps me to structure it. And then after I wrote the lyrics and the melody, I approached a few producers to see if somebody wanted to work with me to put together the instrumental, which I was very thankful to find the Lost Boys. They're a great production team that I worked with and that I'm continuing to work with. And so they created the instrumental around my lyrics and melody. I kind of like recorded an a cappella version for them, and then we sort of like constructed it, changed things around. It was very collaborative. And then, so that was the recording process. Then the video, I worked with a production company called Rubicon, who work with a lot of indie artists in Montreal. They were amazing. Really took the project seriously. This is my cat, by the way.
This is her cat.
And,
like all cats, he wants to
he wants to join into the interview. So the video, it was really great because the director, Alberto D'Onofrio, he created the concept with me of the storyline and everything. So again, it was very collaborative. And we came up with the video concept within the budget that I had to go along as well with the theme of the song. And that was it. Yeah.
Have you released the song on several platforms? Or,
yeah, it's everywhere. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, a bunch of other like platforms that I've never even heard of before, but apparently it's just everywhere. And then you can see the video on YouTube, and it's on CD Baby, like everywhere.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so in terms of influences, who would you say are your major influences?
Yeah, so when it shifts a lot. When I was a kid, I was really influenced by like the big diva singers, like Whitney Houston and Celine Dion, Mariah Carey. I loved, like I knew one of her albums completely by heart, and I would just like sing her songs all the time. And lately, I mean, I'm into like a R&B kind of, like for my music, I really kind of am going in a direction of an R&B pop sort of vibe. But I also, like, I can't even name particular artists because my Spotify playlist is like a mix of just a bunch of different people that I love. And it's so easy nowadays, right? To like Shazam something, and so there's just too many people to name. But I love all types of music. Like I can listen to classical one day, jazz, old tunes like from the 80s, just like everything. There's really, maybe with the exception of rap, I can respect it, but I'm not super into like a rap type of style. And maybe country, I'm not like such a huge fan of it, but I definitely respect all styles of music,
That's cool.
Yeah.
What is something you wish you'd known about acting before you began?
That's a good question. I wish I knew that acting, it's going to sound funny saying this, but I wish I knew that acting is not acting. Acting is really not acting. It's like people, I think, that are not actors, when they watch actors, they're like, wow, they're so good at fake crying, or like they're so good at just faking emotions. But what I didn't, and when I first started getting into it, like when I was in elementary school or high school, and let's say you have a scene where you're supposed to be crying, I was a kid and I didn't have much training back then. Some kids get a lot of training, right? But for me, it was kind of like, you're fake crying or something, but that's not authentic. And maybe some actors do that, but then it doesn't make them good actors, Right. The best actors are the ones who really feel what they're feeling. And they tell real emotions through a story that might be a fake story, but the emotions in it are real. That's what I wish I knew, because it made things a lot easier as I went along. And even now I still train as an actor, and now it makes things easier because you realize you just have to dig deep in yourself to, touch on those emotions, and then everything else is like so authentic after that. So yeah, I wish I knew that earlier. Wouldn't have had to fake everything. But before. Would have booked a lot more roles in the past, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
So what about singing? Something you wish you'd known before you started singing? I mean, obviously, at 3 years old, there wasn't much you would have known, but maybe later, before you really started, committing to it. Committing to the journey.
Yeah, that's also a good question. I guess I had known. So when I was a kid and when I started singing, I was very focused on the technicality of it. Like I was always afraid of missing a note, or, like I always felt like I have to be perfect. I have to get every note perfectly. So sometimes I think when I was a kid, I wasn't really performing. Like I was more just, everybody would always say, oh, you have such a good voice. Or like I always used to get compliments, even as a kid, especially from adults, that I had like a really unique or good voice for my age. But I feel like there were times where I wasn't really performing or telling that story, and it's still important to do. And sometimes, like people don't really care if you, as long as you're not super off key, right? But if you miss a note here and there, you're like a little bit off, but you're really putting in the emotion. I think that's more important than being so perfect, but then you kind of sound robotic, or you don't have any connection with the audience. So I wish I knew that sooner, because like knowing that now, it helps me a lot when I perform live to really connect with people,
Have you gotten any opportunities to perform live recently?
Well, I'm performing live this coming Wednesday. I don't know when this interview is coming out, but...
In time.
Wednesday is the 23rd of January, so I'm performing at a fundraiser at Club Balatou. I'm going to sing 3 or 4 songs, and so that's coming up,
that's
which
cool.
I'm excited about. Yeah.
All right. How do you integrate your art into your daily life? Because it's not all acting and singing, I imagine.
Nope, unfortunately, it's not. I wish I could say it was, but
it's not for a lot of people.
Not for a lot of people in Montreal. We all have our day jobs. But I try to do something every day, honestly. Like whether it be even like, it could be, maybe I'm not practicing necessarily, but I'm updating my website, or I'm looking for different jobs. Like I always look for gigs, even though I have an agent. I'm always like doing my own research. I feel like I like to be resourceful and see what's kind of happening. Even like reading articles on the industry, like if you go on my Twitter, I repost a lot of like articles and advice on both the acting and music industry. But yeah, I mean, and then other days, I'm obviously writing lyrics or practicing monologues and things like that. That I don't do as often as I probably should, but I'm always training in acting anyway. Like I always take workshops and all of that. So I'm doing something all the time, for sure.
Well, that's important.
Yeah, definitely. You got to keep it up.
Yeah, otherwise you fall to the wayside.
Yeah, and people don't realize, well, I mean, most like serious actors, they do realize, and serious singers, of course, but some people, that are not super serious about it, that are just like, oh, my mom told me I'm funny, I should be an actor. They sometimes don't realize that, you really do need to train to keep up your skills. It's the same as an athlete, you're not going to like go to the Olympics without going to train first, going to the gym or whatever your sport is. So it's the same thing, if you're not keeping it up. Like I find I can get rusty. I get rusty at auditions if I'm not like, doing workshops. So I do a lot of film and TV workshops and things like that, just to keep myself
sharp.
Yeah, to keep myself sharp, exactly. To because auditioning too, it's like a whole other beast. It's really hard, So yeah, I'm always trying to keep my juices flowing creatively.
That's cool. So, what would be your favorite aspect of acting?
My favorite aspect, I love when I get to actually act, whether that's in a workshop or on a set or on stage. I love being in the moment of that, especially when it's on stage and you you feel the audience's reaction to what's going on. That's really amazing. Like, it's an adrenaline for me. And then being on a set, like, I love just meeting, you know, other people that are in the industry and I get really inspired by other people. So, and it's just fun to, like, see the people coming from different backgrounds, and we're all coming together to create something, telling a story. So I just love all of that when it comes to acting, even in workshops, you know, just like being able to get up and perform something. I love performing, so yeah.
That's good. So do you have a least favorite aspect, something that frustrates you?
That's a good question. I mean, it's not really in regard to, like, the craft of acting, but I guess it's frustrating, you know, and people always say this, and obviously it's not the casting director's faults either, but it's like, it can be so frustrating when you go into an audition and you feel like you did such a good job and you get amazing feedback, and then you don't end up booking the role. And, you know, you're always told, like, it's nothing to do. You could be the best person sometimes, but if you don't fit what they're looking for, let's say, like, you look too much like the lead, or the person opposite you, like, maybe looks too much like your brother as opposed to your love interest, you know, like, there's so many different reasons why you won't get hired sometimes. So that's frustrating, you know, because you work really hard, and sometimes, like, when a role depends on not just your talent, but like a whole, you know, like a whole list of other things, it can feel discouraging sometimes, but you have to just keep going, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so same idea for singing. What is your favorite thing about singing?
My favorite thing, I really love performing live when it comes to singing. Like, obviously the recording is super fun and everything, but there's nothing like being live and being really able to, you know, perform your songs for people. I also feel like I'm able to connect more with an audience. Not that, I mean, obviously people were, like, they were connected to Witness when the people that enjoyed it, at least, were, you know, connected to the song. But I feel like there's nothing like performing live to me. Because even live, you know, you can even be like acoustic, just you and one other musician, and I still feel like I'm able to really connect through a live act. So that's what I love about singing, you know, is just being able to do it.
That's good.
Yeah, live for people.
So anything that frustrates you about singing?
Let me think about that for a second. I don't think so. I don't know about singing. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, again, it doesn't really have to do with singing itself, but I find it, I never mind if I get constructive criticism, especially if it's from somebody in the industry, you know, like, I'm totally appreciative of everybody's comments, but, like, I find it really annoying when somebody feels like they want to give an opinion, but they don't know anything about the industry, or they don't even know how to sing, or, like, you know, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't know. Like, what, like, I'm trying to think of an example, but...
Are they too vague, maybe, or... Is it?
Yeah, or it's like, just, or no, you know what? It's exactly. It's when it's like not it's not constructive criticism. Yeah. It's not constructive criticism. It's just somebody having, like, feeling a need to make a negative comment.
Right.
You know? It's like, why? Like,
yeah.
Just keep it to yourself then. You know? Or, like, why don't you do something, or you create something?
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, putting down somebody else's work, you know, I hate that. Like,
some people just troll for the heck of trolling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, that would be the only annoying thing, but that doesn't really have to do with singing, I guess. But
it's something you encounter while
yeah, exactly. It's something I encounter. Thankfully, not like a lot for the first song, but
that's good.
One of my friends told me that the day I get haters, it's a good thing, because that means you've really made it, you know? That means, like, a lot of people have seen your stuff.
It means you've had enough exposure
exactly.
that the trolls come out of the woodwork.
Exactly. So thankfully I'm still at a level where I'm not that big yet, so I don't have a lot of haters yet. Which is nice. It's nice to feel supported.
I imagine not everything is smooth sailing. You do experience obstacles or stress. How do you cope with that personally?
Yeah. I've started meditating on a daily basis, even if it's just 5 minutes. There's an app on, not even an app, sorry, but YouTube video. It's like a 5-minute chakra warm-up where you can, like, it kind of just takes you through all the different chakras, and it's a meditative little video. It's only 5 minutes long. So I like to do that every morning, even if I'm in a rush, just to, like, get my head clear and feel good about my day. So I just started doing that recently, and it really helps, I feel. You know, like, it really clears my mind. And I also started, like, I don't do it every day, but I want to start doing it daily, where I work out every morning too, even if it's just 10 minutes, like, just get my body moving. Because I feel that too, for some reason, it just helps with stressful situations that occur during the day. Like, when you feel focused and your head is clear, you're more able, for me anyway, I'm more able to deal with stress and cope in that sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because it puts you in a positive mind frame, you know, for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it releases, I guess, some sort of hormones or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So even if something negative happens, it's like you can at least just take a breath and then let it all out, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
So do you get block? Because you write your own songs as well, right?
Yeah. I do get blocked.
How do you deal with that when it comes about?
Oh my gosh.
When the words are not flowing.
Yeah, you know what? I get, not even just with music or, like, writing, but I get creative blocks sometimes. In general, like, just like where I'll just go through phases in my life where I just feel completely not creative at all. Like, no ideas will come to me. I'll just be like, oh, like, yeah, like, I don't know why, you know? And then there's other times where then I'll just get, like, and when it rolls, you know? Like, if I get a jolt of inspiration, then it'll skyrocket with everything. It'll be, like, not only music, but even I'll get ideas for, like, short films, or, you know, like, I'll start writing script ideas. It'll all come to me all at once. I think the way I deal with a block is to just keep surrounding myself with creative people. That's what I realized has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Over the years. Like, if I take myself out of creative zones, or, like, if I'm, you know, not to say, like, I like my day job and everything, but I feel like if you don't really have a network of other creative people around you, it's easy to lose inspiration, you know?
Right.
But when you have creative people around you all the time, then you're gonna feel inspired and motivated, and it sort of gets the ideas boiling. I find
you have people to bounce off of. You have people to be accountable to.
Exactly. Yeah. You can collaborate. So yeah, that's what's kept it going for me, and, like, you know, unblocks the block.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, between acting and music, do you have a preference? If someone was to come to you one day and be like, Lanisa, you must choose. You can act or you can sing.
I'd be like,
what do you think you'd say?
I'd be like, it would. I feel bad. I shouldn't even feel bad saying this, but because, okay, first and foremost, I do everything for the passion, of course. But also, I mean, I do want to make a living off of this. Like, I'd love to, you know, be able to do only this one day. When I say only this, I just mean, like, wake up every day and be creative, whether that's music, like writing, films, producing even. But obviously that takes an income, right? So for me, it would really depend on which one's going to be, like, yeah, because I love
which
both
one's working
equal.
Out more?
Yeah, you know, because, like, I love both equally. I haven't made money in music yet. I've probably spent a lot more money than I've made. So yeah, better watch my videos, because I invest in them and I spend a lot of money on my videos.
You have to spend a little money to make some money.
Exactly, you have to invest in yourself, right? And but with acting, I mean, like, you know, acting, I've had paid contracts. I'm part of the acting union, so they take care of you and they pay you really well when you get hired. Yeah. So yeah, there's not really like a favorite between the two. I'll always be doing both, but I guess like what I would, you know, maybe focus on more one day would have to do with, you know, like if my music ends up taking off and somebody wants to offer me a tour or something, I'm going to go in that direction. Or if I get a movie contract or like something like that, then obviously I would take that and put the other thing on hold, but I'll always continue doing both, you know.
And then ideally you'll work in musicals and you'll sing and
act. Exactly. Unfortunately, I'm not the triple threat. I wish I could say I was, like with the dancing, but I'm a really bad dancer. I think anyway, but
you just have to get a bunch of backup dancers to dance with you, probably.
I'll make my own musicals where I don't have to dance. Yeah. There's some characters where it's more singing and acting and you don't really have to dance, but I feel like the majority of musicals, like
they expect you to sort of dance a bit,
yeah, or at least have like good movement, which I'm okay. I've done a lot of musicals before, but they were more like community musicals, so I don't know about professional ones if I would be at the level for the dancing part of it, but it's worth it to try.
Never know.
Yeah.
All right. We've talked about a lot, but do you have any advice for people who are starting out in acting or singing or both, either one?
Yeah. So for acting, I'll start with acting first. I mean, it's definitely important to get training. That would be first and foremost. I think, you know, like, okay, I guess, like, if you're really young and, you know, you have a certain look to you and then, like, somebody discovers you, which I guess could happen in LA or something, I don't know. It happens sometimes, but
never know.
I know for sure that, like, when you go into a casting office, they look at your training. Like, they look to see if you have training. It's really important to them. You could lose a job. Like, if it comes down to you and one other person, and you're both equally amazing, and then the other person has training, but you don't, like, they're going to go for that person because they're going to think, oh, they're more serious, you know?
Right.
Especially if you're older and you're getting into this. Which, by the way, like, if you are, I know a lot of people who are older and wanted to make a career switch or just, you know, like, get into this for the fun of it. You can always do that, right? Because there's roles for everybody.
Yeah.
They're not going to cast a 20-year-old in a 6-year-old part, right? So anybody can get into it. But yeah, I would just say get training. And then, you know, like, you have to just always persevere and make your own work. That's the most important thing. Because you're always going to be sitting around waiting for auditions and this and that. So I think it's important to create your own stuff. And then you can really showcase yourself. The people I know who have gone the furthest, who are now, like, I know some people who even live in LA now and are doing big films. Even people who still live in Montreal, but they're in, like, Hollywood films and everything. The people I know that are doing all that stuff have created their own work in the past and really showcased themselves, always been proactive. So that's important. And then for singing, I mean, I don't want to say everybody can be an actor either, but I think, like, I feel like you can get training in acting and then you can, I don't know, I shouldn't say everybody can be an actor, but I feel like for music, it's a bit different. Like, not everybody can be a singer, right? Like, if you, I don't know, if you can't hold a tune or something.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you want to sing, like, you know, obviously take the singing lessons, create your own stuff, of course. Put yourself out there. That's the most important thing. You know, like, you have to, you have to just put yourself out there and deal with rejection. And obviously that not everybody's going to like what you're doing. Like, not everybody's going to like your style. Not everybody's going to, yeah, you know, like everybody likes different styles of music, so just deal with the haters. But keep going, because people will like, there's always someone that likes
there
what
will
you
be
do.
the likers as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
There'll be the likers as well.
We should totally make that a thing. The likers.
The likers, yeah. Not the haters, but the likers. Yeah.
All right. So I think we're at the point where we should tell everybody how they can know more about you. And I know we've already mentioned you have a singing gig coming up, and then you have your YouTube channel, and the song "Witness" is available on several platforms. But let's just so how can people find out more information about you, and what else is in the pipeline there for you?
Yeah, you can connect with me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of the social media channels, of course. And I like to say connect because I hate the word followers. I hate that word. So I say you can connect with me. And then obviously like YouTube, I have a YouTube channel, and you can, there's going to be a bunch more videos coming out for music. What's in the pipeline? Yeah. End of the interview, he comes to see me. Yeah, I have a lot more music coming out this year of different styles as well, so I'm really excited about that. And for acting, I'm obviously gonna hopefully get a few more auditions under my belt for the new year. Hopefully book some more jobs, and I have ideas for short film scripts that I want to put on paper and start producing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Well, thank you, Lanisa. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Everyday Expertise. I'm Angela. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I just hit him in the head.
He wants to say bye.
Say bye.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this interview. Be sure to share this video with friends and colleagues who may also enjoy this topic. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment below, or check the description for our social media. See you next time.